Now then, YouTube, back with part 35, I believe, of the Virago project. Right, I'm going to start straight off. As you see, me and the wife has just got back up on my lift, so I can get this back wheel off, so we can change this spacer and that. I'm actually going to put the old axle in, I think, if it's exactly the same length as the other one, because it's in a lot better condition than the other one. So I've done this once before now, so I sort of know what I'm doing, so I'm prepared to show you how to do it, I think. Right, so I'm going to get my little milk crate to sit on. You're going to want a pair of long nose pliers. You're going to need a 22mm socket and an impact gun. You're going to need a torque wrench for putting it back on later. You're going to need some sort of punch and an hammer and all, so then you can knock the thing all the way out and hold the bush in place when we're putting it back in. So get your shit together and then we're on to the next bit. Right, in your list of tools you're going to require, I forgot to tell you, you're going to need a 13mm for that and all. Don't worry about that yet. First, you're going to take your windy gun, your Chinese in one. Make sure it's on backwards. Is that backwards? Fuck knows. And we're going to rattle this off. Whoops. Without losing your new mount that you've just put on there and, yeah, breaking it. Let's try and do this one-handed. Look at that, look. Expert. Right. Carefully place that down there. Now you want to undo this pinch bolt with your 13mm. There you go. Oh, I did that tight. Oh. Yep. Yeah, with your Chinese electric ratchet. Lovely. Alright, now you're going to want to stick your foot under there. And you're going to want to get a punch of some description, so you don't knacker the thread. And you're going to tap it with your hammer, whoever that is, and knock that through here. Now, I don't care how good you are, I can't do that one-handed. So, we'll bring you back once I've got that out. Right, you see that's nearly fully extracted. I've got that in there, holding the shim in there at the minute, but we don't need to worry about that because we're going to replace the shim. But that's what we're going to do in a second to hold it in. But we've got two washers here, which is wrong. It should have one washer this side and this spacer thing, and it should have a fat spacer in here and then one washer on the outside and the castle nut. I'm using that bracket as the second washer. This was obviously bodged before. When I took it apart before, unknowingly knew that that was wrong. So I'm going to remove one of them washers when we put it back together. Right, so what you're going to want to do is you want to wiggle that out, chuck it on the floor. Now, you've got to wiggle the wheel sort of this way off the final drive so you can wiggle it out, and then you've got to wiggle it back, and then as the tyre catches, if your tyre's as fat as mine, you have to sort of angle it this way and out. Obviously, that's another thing I can't do one-handed, so I'll bring it back once the wheel's out. Right, so that's the wheel out. And this would be a good time if you wanted to change your bearings or what have you. Or I'm going to run with them for the minute because I'm a slack cunt. I don't know where all that grease is from. Probably off these splines. But anyway, we'll smush that in there. Yeah. Right, and this little bastard is what we're changing, because that's quite obviously wrong. What I'm going to do is going to take the other doodah and I'm going to measure them up together and check that they're both the same. If they are, then I'm just going to put the old shaft in. So let me check that. Right, so they are exactly the same size, so I'm going to swap them over so it should be 100% correct. This is where it gets a little bit fiddly. Right, now first thing, we want to use this big spacer in the middle here of this final drive, what I can't see. I'm going to poke that in there. Lovely jubbly. Now you can use something this side to help locate the doodah spacer. That's how I do it. Just helps things slide together a bit nicer. Now you're going to want to re-wiggle your wheel back in How you wiggled it out is how you want to wiggle it in, and then you got to lift it up and slot it back onto the shaft again. Obviously, again, I can't show you how to do that, so I'll bring you back once we're at that stage. Right, so now once you've slotted it onto the final drive, get your doodah ready and get your washer. I'm going to use a nice shiny chrome one. I'm going to slot it on there. I'm going to slip that in there. We're not going to use that washer. Why does that one not work on there? Right, that's a different washer. This one must be the correct washer. Let's see. Oh, sorry about the filming angle. That is the correct washer. Yeah, and then we're going to insert this all the way through and hopefully poke out the other side. Now, it's going to need a little tap with the hammer to get it through. But then basically, it's the reverse of what we did. We're going to tighten up this bolt first to 105 Newton meters using the torque wrench. Then we're going to do up that bolt here to hold it in place. We're going to stick back in the split pin that we removed, and everything should be lovely jubbly. So yeah, now will be time to go and find your torque wrench if you've got one, because you're going to need that. Then what you do is pull it all out, because you realise that the new one you bought was also missing a spacer, which is welded onto your old one. So now you make the decision whether you're going to try and remove it from the old one and put it on the new one, or just use the old fucking shaft in the first place. So yeah, you'll know in the next clip what I decided. Alright, this is optional. Oh, as you see, I removed it and put it on this one. You don't need to grease up this entire shaft. The wheel doesn't rotate around this shaft. It rotates around the bearings. But if you want to put a little bit of copper grease on the under bearing threads, just to make sure that it don't seize up and shit from road salt and crap, then that's a sensible thing to do. Right, now you go and put it back to where you was before you found out you cocked it up. Right, now you would hopefully not have a shit stand that you've made yourself out of wood. But really you want this in the right position before you start torquing anything up to get your brake, torsion bar thingy on. So what I'm going to probably do is I'm probably going to get it nipped up, not do up this bolt, then I'm going to put it down back on the floor, then I'll torque it after I've reattached that bar. Yeah, and then that's how that'll work properly. But yeah, you can see now, if this was you, what you would do now is put your other washer on this side. You would then put your castle nut back on, and you would do it up to 105 Newton meters. Oh, sounds like I might have a visitor. I'll be back in a moment. Right, I can't remember what I was explaining, but yeah. Slide that through, make sure that's lined up by putting that on properly first. Then you want to torque this up, split pin, then put in the 30mm clampy bolt this side. Bob's your mum's brother. And that's as per the Yamaha service manual. Then we're going to look at wiring this bitch in. I'm using this mount here instead of a washer on this side. That's why I didn't put it together and show you, because like I say, I have to do it slightly different, and mine is slightly different to what yours is going to be. Right, so now I'm at the point now where I'm ready to get it down onto the floor again, back on its side stand. Then I can torque everything up. Then I'm happy. What did I have to do? Oh yeah, wiring next. Yeah, that's not going to be like an how-to, because I've got to do a lot of chasing wiring diagrams, and I hate that. But there's basically 3 wires to the back light. We've got a couple of spare wires down the back here for the indicators. I need to figure out where they go. These are aftermarket indicators that were on it when I got it, but yeah. But I've got the manual, I've got the diagrams. It just take me a bit of doing to do. So I'm probably not going to film that section of it. I'm probably just going to do it and then bring you back when I'm done, so I can just chill out and listen to tunes while I'm doing it. Right, now I think that's wired right, but I think we're going to have an issue with the old indicators. because they seem to be a 3-wire setup, and it seems the indicators on this bike are a 2-wire setup. So these may not work. I may have to replace them for a 2-wire setup. Yeah, but real light now, up and in, and I used some fucking, what's it called, loom tape to make it look pretty. My connections all under there. I used a chocolate block for the earth because it was like a multi-block for the earth, but it was fucked. So I just used a chocolate block, and we've done it like that. That should be sweet. All this will tuck out the way. Lovely jubbly, like so. Seat will go on. That'll be sweet. Alright, I'm gonna now attempt this bastard of a thing. Now, all this is done. I literally have to put the front back on it. But it's such a pain in the arse, fiddly ass cunt thing to do. Honestly, you've got to sort of like hook it in and then push it in and then put a couple of screws in. Which, now I'm thinking about it, I'm not even sure where the fucking hell they are. Bollocks. Fuck me, you can tell by the redness of my boat race. So that was a bigger pain in the bollocks than it had to be. I fucking hate trying to fit everything back in the bloody headlight. And yes, I am still missing that one screw. And no, I don't give a fuck. One of my adjusters is also knackered. And one of the tabs is really flippy floppy. It's probably going to break off. So I probably need a new headlight. Bollocks. But for now, that'll do. Really, that's it. Bar testing stuff. But that has really, really annoyed the shit out of me now. So I think what I want to do is I'm going to put the seat back on, get it off the rampy thing, torque up the back wheel, yeah, then maybe call it a day. I don't know. To do some work on my dad's BMW this morning. So I've only had a little bit of time today. And I best spend some time with the family, and I. Right, so I had to get an extra set of hands to help me with that. I've torqued all that up now. The doodah's in it correctly. We just now need to torque up this pinch bolt here, and then set your brake how you want. But all in all, a very productive afternoon, I must say. I was disturbed by another visitor, but it's alright, because it was a good excuse to beast the Jag and to beast the old Virago. So, always good when making noise. But yeah, she is. Technically, we could put 2 silencers on it. You don't need mirrors for an MOT, and then we could MOT it. But there's still some bits I want to do before we get to that stage. And obviously, I haven't tested these lights fully yet. I really can't be bothered today now. I've had enough. Yeah, I'm done in. Like I say, I've been going since first thing this morning. And it's supposed to be Sunday. It's supposed to be chilling out and that, isn't it? So I'm just going to quickly tidy around a bit, and then we'll call it a day. So yeah, all in all, pretty good progress for the day. Happy with how things are going. We'll soon be painting and tightening it up and stuff when we get them bars changed. I don't know if I'm going to go much higher than the bars that are on it, but I want to go for more straight than kinks back, if you know what I mean. But we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, all that bollocks. If not, who gives a fuck? I'll catch you next time. Cheers.